This is NBC Palm Springs. Breaking news.
I'm Daytona Everett. We begin with breaking news tonight. An inmate has escaped the John Benoit Detention Center in Indio. Helicopters have been seen circling overhead. Neighbors have been told to stay inside, and more police are showing up to the area. Our Nico Payne is live in Indio right now with the latest. Nico, what can you tell us?
That's right, Daytona. We're just outside the detention center, and police have asked us to stay far back as the scene is active. And we have reports coming into our newsroom that police have informed people to stay into their homes due to an inmate escaping. Now, we have video of a Bearcat truck driving into the area, and police seem to be focusing on a trailer park in the area. Police also searching cars leaving the trailer park. Now, we have not been able to confirm this information with officials as they are busy on the scene. Our sources say the inmate was last seen near Oasis Street, just southeast of the facility. A helicopter was in the area earlier, and canines are on scene. Indio PD is assisting in the Riverside County Sheriffs are setting up this perimeter as they are the lead in this case. Now, we will continue to follow this situation and bring you the latest updates as we receive them. Reported live in Indio, I'm Nico Payne. I'll send it back to you guys in the studio.
All right, thank you, Nico. Coronavirus numbers continue to rise across the U.S. Multiple states are seeing daily case and death records, and testing lines and wait times are growing as more people are infected. This as masks continue to be a hot topic, specifically whether they should be mandated or not. We'll have more on all of those stories coming up, but first, a team of military doctors step up in Rancho Mirage. They're at Eisenhower Medical Center, here to help with the surge of COVID-19 patients right here at home. Our Kitty Alvarado has been tracking this story and has more.
They're saying, yay, they are very happy.
Staff at Eisenhower Health is cheering the arrival of the 60th Air Wing Medical Group on Thursday from Travis Air Force Base to help with a surge of COVID patients. Dr. Alan Williamson, Chief Medical Officer, says the group of 21 made up of doctors, physicians, assistants, nurses, and respiratory therapists will be assigned to the COVID isolation units.
They're really getting right into the trenches, helping us with the patients that are really needing the most attention right now and have been putting the most strain on our staff because of the highly physical and emotional nature of taking care of these very ill patients.
The hospital is at 100% capacity of staffed beds in ICU and 80% in the rest, and they're not alone in needing help. Some of the 17 hospitals in the county are relying on traveling nurses. Others are calling on the county for help.
There is one other hospital that requested staffing and has received that staffing from the state, and there are 4 other hospitals in the county of Riverside that currently have resource requests.
To grow hospital capacity, you need staff. And if the surge continues, this will be tougher to find.
It's every hospital in every county across the state and pretty much every state that is now starting to compete with all of these resources.
So staff here is grateful to the county, state, and the 60th Air Wing Medical Group that answered their call for help.
Staff member after staff member, really walked right up to them, right up to us and said, thank you so much for coming. We're so happy to see you arrive. It is a great relief to know that there is help from outside, that there is support outside of our valley when we really need it.
In Rancho Mirage, Kitty Alvarado, NBC Palm Springs.
The team will be here for 30 days, and hopefully by then this surge will be on its way down. But if it continues, the hospital will have to make additional requests. The United States could see more than 157,000 coronavirus deaths by August 8th. That's according to the CDC. The prediction pulls together 24 individual forecasts made by outside groups and researchers. The ensemble prediction gives a range of nearly 150,000 deaths to up to more than 168,000. The U.S. has over 3.6 million cases and almost 140,000 deaths. COVID-19 has had a huge impact on local businesses. They've been forced to temporarily shut down, in some cases multiple times, and some haven't been able to reopen at all. The travel medicine clinic in Rancho Mirage has provided residents with vaccinations for decades, but COVID-19 has forced them to close their doors for good. Our Nico Payne spoke to the man behind this clinic and has more.
Edward Lister is a registered nurse who has been providing Coachella Valley locals with vaccinations for the past 30 years. His business, Travel Medicine Clinic, offers people who are planning more involved trips vaccinations against exotic diseases.
It's actually come to a screeching halt. We're just not seeing any International travelers, I don't see it in the near future either. I guess I need to act my age and start to retire.
At 75 years old, Lister says he wasn't thinking about shutting his doors, but COVID-19 changed that very quickly. He said he is proud to have served the community and is sad to say goodbye.
When I see them, again, it's like family. I spend like about an hour with them, advising them how to stay safe on their travels. And I think they're afraid they're not going to get that kind of care anymore.
Jeff Kreider is the communications director at IMA Helps and has been a patient of Lister's for years. He worries where the community will go now that the clinic is closing.
Over the years, I've gotten shots for cholera, typhoid, yellow fever, meningitis. I don't really know exactly where I will go at this point. I know there's a clinic in Loma Linda, but that's a hassle.
Before closing, Lister will be donating the clinical's medical equipment to help with future medical humanitarian missions.
IMA Helps is a nonprofit organization that organizes medical humanitarian missions primarily in Central and South America. The equipment that Edward is providing to us will be equipment that we can in turn donate to some of these hospitals where we work overseas that need this kind of equipment because they don't have it. They're lacking.
Lister says he will miss his patients and had some farewell advice for fighting this pandemic.
My patients or travelers, they're like, so many of them are like family. And it's hard to say goodbye to them. It's hard to tell, but I think when we get a vaccine, things are going to look up. We've got to wear our masks and stay our distance, that sort of thing. Everybody needs to do it so that we can get back to what we are used to doing.
Nico Payne, NBC Palm Springs.
To stress the importance of masks, leaders from the Coachella Valley band together for this public service announcement telling the greater Palm Springs area to mask up.
Small changes can make a big difference.
Wear face covering because we're in this together.
We pledge to keep our valley safe and reopen safely.
Let's stop the spread by being informed and doing our part.
We're all taking that pledge. Join us in taking that pledge with us.
We pledge to be responsible and to help save lives.
Each of us must pledge to keep our valley safe.
Let's be safer and greater together.
This is our pledge to you. We can get through this together.
That video is posted on all of the greater Palm Springs social channels. A church with campuses across the Inland Empire has filed an emergency request with a federal judge to stop enforcement of Governor Newsom's temporary halt of in-person church services. Pasadena-based Harvest Rock Church alleges that the ban violates the right to religious freedom, the religious freedom clause of the First Amendment. They also said that public health guidelines unfairly target places of worship over other institutions because Newsom supported protests over George Floyd's death and police brutality.
Coronavirus coverage brought to you by East Valley COVID-19 testing site, serving residents of eastern Coachella Valley.
All right, we're taking a live look now from our Agua Caliente Casino cam. A beautiful, hot day in the desert. Taylor Martinez is standing by with your weather. Hey, Tay.
Hi, Daytona. Happy Saturday, everybody. Looking at Palm Springs right now, we're seeing 111 out there. Cooled down a little bit. Some winds coming through, gusts of about 20 miles per hour right now, and that's going to be a trend into tomorrow. Expect a windy Sunday afternoon. Highs of about 113 in Palm Springs. The next 3 days brought to you by Comfort Air. We're sticking with that 113 both Sunday and Monday. Start to cool down on Tuesday with 110. We'll see even more relief throughout the week. I'll tell you about that in my full forecast.
All right, lucky 13, 113, 113. All right, a video of a Rancho Mirage woman asking a Hispanic worker for his immigration papers has gone viral on social media, and now neighbors from that community are speaking out. City officials say they've been notified and are now planning to take action. Our Regina Urita has more on that story.
We've seen the video.
Show me your papers.
Could you move away?
No, I want to see your papers.
You want to see my papers?
Yes.
Your immigration.
And heard Juan Andrade's story of the racist incident between him and a woman from Rancho Mirage who asked for his immigration papers while working on the job.
And she started harassing me. I kind of started getting mad because, I was just doing my work. I had never said anything to her. For her to just come at me like that.
Now the city has taken action on the disturbing incident. In a written statement, the city attorney, along with the housing authorities, say They will initiate an investigation process. Rancho Mirage has a zero-tolerance policy for this type of behavior and the harassment of anyone.
So we decided to come to the property where the incident took place to ask neighbors how they feel about the disturbing video.
We don't need people like that living here.
We live here around the around neighborhood, so we're supposed to be more together, more friendly.
And as of now, there is no confirmation on the name of this woman.
And you're not wearing a mask. Can you step away?
Can you show me your papers?
But residents have seen the video and say she had no right to ask the worker for his legal status.
When you are working, you have certain rights, and the lack of respect to our communities, it's immense.
In Rancho Mirage, Regina Urita, NBC Palm Springs.
The city of Palm Springs holds a listening session online to discuss policing, racism, discrimination, and other related issues. City council members listened to public comments for over 3 hours. A hot topic during that session was the Frank Bogart statue in downtown Palm Springs. Tributes are pouring in from around the world to honor Representative John Lewis. He's being remembered as a hero and a relentless servant. Meredith Wood has a closer look at his legacy and how he's being honored.
We cannot give up. We cannot give out.
A towering legend remembered. Politicians, religious leaders, and former presidents are paying tribute to the congressman and civil rights icon.
The movement lost an icon, and I lost a personal friend.
I don't want to be.
Lewis was the son of sharecroppers who survived a brutal beating by police during the 1965 march in Selma, Alabama.
The one thing that we gleaned from our beloved John Lewis was his hopefulness. That's how he could be arrested 40 times. That's how he could be hit in the head with injuries beyond one's imagination and still be standing.
Lewis died Friday at the age of 80 after a 6-month battle with cancer. He joined the civil rights movement when Martin Luther King Jr. brought him on board as a teenager.
As Dad inspired him, inspires me and millions of people around our world.
Former President Barack Obama, who awarded Lewis the Presidential Medal of Freedom in 2011, is calling Lewis his hero, writing that his election as the first black president was possible because of the sacrifices Lewis made. In Atlanta, the district Lewis served as the U.S. representative for more than 3 decades, he's being remembered as a timeless figure.
As the decades passed, young people could relate to him because they saw in him a kind of authenticity. A deep and unconditional love, unlike what we typically see in politics today.
I'm Meredith Wood reporting.
Congressman Raul Ruiz remembers John Lewis. He tells us he's mourning the loss of a friend, saying Lewis will forever be an example of decency, courage, faith in God, social justice, and civil rights. The White House and other federal buildings are now flying flags at half-staff following the death of the longtime congressman. President Trump issued a proclamation allowing the flags to be flown at half-staff today. The order states the proclamation is, quote, a mark of respect for the memory and long-standing public service of Representative John Lewis of Georgia. A petition to rename an iconic Selma, Alabama bridge after Representative Lewis now has more than 400,000 signatures. Lewis marched across Edmund Pettus Bridge in 1965 on what's now known as Bloody Sunday. Law enforcement beat him during the demonstration. The bridge is currently named after a Confederate general and KKK leader. Coming up after the break, we'll have the latest on COVID-19 across the country. Multiple states continue setting records for case numbers, and testing lines keep on growing. Stay with us. We do have an update on that breaking story we brought you at the top of the newscast. Oasis Street in Indio has been closed as police look for an escaped inmate. There's a heavy police presence in the area with helicopters and a Bearcat being seen. Residents have reportedly been asked to lock their doors and stay inside as police continue their search for that inmate. We'll, of course, continue to update you here on NBC Palm Springs tonight at 11 o'clock. A red alert for much of the country as new cases of COVID-19 continue to rage from here in California all the way to Florida. It was only a few weeks ago that America broke records with 40,000 cases a day. Now we're quickly approaching double that. NBC's Sam Brock reports.
Hospitals in national coronavirus hotspots are nearing a breaking point.
Feels like a war zone a little bit.
In Florida, a record 83,000 infections in 7 days, making up a quarter of all the state's cases to date. Miami-Dade boasts the biggest chunk of that, with the city and county now cracking down on anyone not wearing a facial covering.
We will be going directly to fining people for not wearing masks.
But Florida's governor won't institute a statewide mask mandate and says the state's hospitals can handle the latest surge.
21% of the beds statewide are available. That's a greater percentage than was available in early March.
Those comments out of sync with some firsthand accounts.
I have a few ICU beds available. I think within the next few hours, they will no longer be available.
In Texas, which just eclipsed 10,000 cases 4 days in a row, FEMA preparing to send in more refrigerated trucks next week to serve as temporary mortuaries. And in Georgia, where the death toll has surpassed 3,000, a legal fight. The governor suing Atlanta's mayor for requiring masks.
I'm confident that Georgians don't need a mandate to do the right thing.
Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms fighting back.
This lawsuit was filed personally against me and members of the city council the day after Donald Trump was in our city.
Dr. Anthony Fauci also weighing in on the battle.
Put everything else aside and uniformly do the right thing.
27 states and the District of Columbia now require masks outside of the home, with many of America's largest corporations, a list now including Home Depot and Lowe's, mandating them in their stores.
That was Sam Brock reporting. Still more to come after the break, but first, Taylor.
Hi guys, taking a live look at our Agua Caliente camp in Palm Springs right now. There's a little bit of movement there in the palm trees. I'll tell you why and when it'll go away coming up. Hi, Taylor Martinez filling in on this Saturday. Taking a live look right now at our Walter Clark Highway 111 cam. Pretty quiet day out there, hot day. Temperatures a little higher than usual. Taking a look at our numbers in Palm Springs right now, 110 at the airport. Those winds are starting to pick up and that'll continue throughout the night. We've got 16 miles per hour coming from the northwest, humidity of only 12%. Now, as I mentioned with those winds, we're seeing gusts of about 30 miles per hour in those wind-prone areas overnight. This is not working. There we go. Sorry about that. Current temps out there across the southwest. 109 in Vegas, 112 in Lake Havasu, 99 out in Bakersfield, a nice 75 and 74 and 74 along the coast, bringing it a little closer to home. We're really sticking with those triple digits here, of course. 73 out in Big Bear, though, 69 in Mount San Jacinto, 96 in Joshua Tree, 108 in Desert Hot Springs, 110 in Indio, Palm Desert, and Palm Springs. Not much, no weather warnings or watches to warn you about here, and not much going on our satellite, but there is some activity over to the east of us. You see some cloud coverage rolling through Arizona. That's because they do have a chance of thunderstorms tonight in that Arizona, New Mexico, pushing straight through to Colorado. Tomorrow, bringing it back home, 82 at 6 a.m. before we work our way up to 113 at 4 p.m. Those dew points staying in the low to high 40s, a little bit of moisture out there, but not too out of the norm for this time. As for Sunday, 104 in Joshua Tree, 80 up in Big Bear, 96 in Banning, 92 in Idlewild, 113 in Palm Springs, 114 in Thousand Palms, 115 in Palm Desert and Indio. Not much change in temperature as we go into Monday, 80 in Big Bear, 104 in Joshua Tree, 113 in Palm Springs, 114 in Palm Desert and Indio. Now taking a look at our 7-day forecast brought to you by Comfort Air. 113 Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, 110. Wednesday, we're really starting to see some more relief at 107, 104 on Thursday. That'll be our coolest day this week before we see 106 into the weekend on Friday and Saturday.
All right, thank you, Taylor. In tonight's Showbiz Report, the movies are heading outdoors. The Palm Springs Cultural Center transforms into a drive-in movie theater this weekend. Tonight, it's an Andy Samberg double feature, Palm Springs and then Pop Star, Never Stop Popping after. Tomorrow, Palm Springs plays again, and then next week, it's the classics, of course, Grease, Mamma Mia, and Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. Love that. All right, we're back after the break. right, here's a look at your NBC Palm Springs sports headlines. Sports tributes are pouring in for Congressman John Lewis. The Washington Nationals posted this message saying, quote, "Our condolences go out to his family and to all those mourning this enormous loss," end quote. The Atlanta Falcons posted a video with this video with the caption, "John Lewis was a hero for so many, including us. We will miss him." The Toronto Blue Jays won't play their home games in Canada this year. The federal government had denied the Blue Jays' request to play at Rogers Centre. Canada's government doesn't think it's safe for players to travel back and forth from the United States. The team, which had previously been given clearance by city and local governments to play at Rogers Centre, issued a statement saying it completely respects the decision. According to multiple reports, NFL training camps will open on July 28th. The early start would give players a chance to get back in football shape after an off-season of virtual work. The new collective bargaining agreement says that teams can report 47 days before their first regular season game, which is July 28th for most teams. There are concerns about the readiness of those players, and officials are recommending an acclimation period before camp, but it's not clear how long that period might be. The PGA Tour continues its return to action with this week's Memorial Tournament. It's the 6th PGA Tour event held without spectators due to the COVID-19 pandemic, of course. This year's field consists of 48 of the top 50 golfers in the FedEx Cup standings. They're playing for a share of the $9.3 million purse, with Sunday's champion pocketing a check for $1.6 million. Not bad right there. Jon Rahm is sitting at 12 under and currently holds a 4-shot lead over Ryan Palmer and Tony Finau. All right, that's it for sports. We'll be right back. Well, if you missed any of today's stories, you can see them on our website, NBCPalmSprings.com. You can see a QR code on your screen right next to Taylor. You can scan that code and it'll take you right to our website. This is so cool. I actually haven't really seen this before today, but very awesome. And
have a good day,
we'll
guys.
see you tonight at 11.